we are going to move on into budgets. All right. We're going to talk about personal budgets. Okay. You do get business budgets. You get government budgets. We recently had the budget speech. So whenever there's an organization or a private person that needs to organize their finances, then usually they will try and do a budget to keep track of the finances. And it's an incredibly useful tool. Okay, it's not just a topic that you need to learn in math literacy to pass your test. This is actually something that's very, very, very useful for all of us. Okay, so if you get money in and you spend money, as we all do, then a budget is a very, very good idea for you. It helps you keep track of your money so that when you get to the end of the month and you hit minus 500, you know why. Or if you've got surplus, you know why. And you can maybe change a few things and save a bit more, have a bit of extra cash at the end of the month. So it's planning ahead. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about personal budgets. We're going to have a look at an example just now, but let's just understand the theory behind it. We are going to learn about words like income and expenses. Okay, now these you might think are business terms, but it's not just related to business. You can also relate it to your personal income. As long as you have money coming in and money going out, you can use these terms as well. So an easy way to relate, income is the money coming in and expenses is the money going out. All right, so can you put into chat, I need some examples of what money, personal budgets. Think about your parents if you want to. I know a lot of you don't have jobs, maybe some of you do, but think about your parents. How does the money come in? All right, give me examples in chat. How do we get money in to your personal budget? Salaries, very good. Bank, we'll talk about that, good. Salaries, wages, good. Payslip when they get paid, yes. Okay, good. So salaries and wages. All right, let's write that down. All right. So our personal budget can actually link to a salary slip or a wage slip, okay, which is something that we're going to look at the next time we do a finance course. We'll look at salaries and wages. That'll tie into your personal budget. All right. Someone mentioned the bank. Okay, good. Now, bank, money will come in, but then it'll start to become the payments on that loan will start to become an expense. So you'll get a lot of money in and you will do something with it. But along with that money coming in as a loan, you will also have to pay back that loan every month. So we could even put loan on this side, on the opposite side as well. Loan payment. All right, so loan repayments, that can be an expense. Okay. Investments. Now, I like the sound of that. Okay. Don't just think that you get money via salaries. You can also get money through investments. All right. Investments. Who knows what is a very good investment to give you regular payouts? I'm talking about every 6 months. I'm just interested to know. Sonia's talking big money. Yeah, but you don't have, you know what? Easy equities. I'm not sure how old you have to be, but easy equities, you can put in 20 Rand a month and buy a portion of a share. So you can start investing very small if you want to. Forex. Oh, all right. User says Forex. So Forex, yes, if you know how to trade Forex, careful because it can be tricky. You can win some and you can also lose some. So if you own shares in a company, then those shares often pay out what we call a dividend. It's a portion of their profit. So casinos, oh my gosh, I know, please stay away from the casinos. So the dividends that the company payouts is based on their profit that they make in a year. So if a company does well and you own a share of that company, the profit they make, they give back to the shareholders. So you can get a payout of dividends every 6 to 12 months, just for holding on to a share or a piece of that company. So it's also very interesting. Betway, oh my gosh, no. All right.
I was waiting for someone to say that. I was
Oh my
waiting.
gosh. betting and gambling. Careful, guys. Be very, very careful with that. All right. We've got a short list there. Credit score. Yeah, credit score. So credit is linked to loan. When you loan money or when you purchase goods on loan, you build up a credit score. And credit score is actually very useful because when you want to eventually take a loan one day to buy a house or a car, they will look at your credit score. They will look at how good you are at paying back debt. All right. And if you're very good at paying back debt and you pay back regularly, you get a high credit score, and then they will sometimes give you a lower interest rate. Bonds, yes, good. Bonds are also a good way to invest. All right, so bonds are also a part of investment. All right, yes, bonds. You can own government bonds or retail bonds. Very good. You guys are pretty clued up. All right, maybe you could teach me a thing. I don't know about this Betway thing. I don't know about that. But you guys seem you know quite a lot about finances. I think kids these days know so much. Hollywood, tenders, oh my gosh, Al Zondi. Yeah, unfortunately, tenders can be used to gain an income in South Africa. Let's talk about some of the expenses. Now, we might have a few there here on the left. We can go on for days about expenses. All right, let's talk about some personal expenses. Lotto. Yeah, you could win money with Lotto. Personal expenses, guys. Where does your money go every month? The big ones. What are the big ones? School
School
fees.
fees, wow.
Yes. School fees. Definitely. That's why you guys are there. Hey,
Installment, rent,
rent,
bank charges.
bank charges. Yo, rent. I was gonna rant about bank charges. I was thinking I was gonna rant. Bank fees, yes, bank fees are there. Okay.
Not somebody
And
saying Watobe. Wow.
what Toby? Ah, maybe it's an expense now, but it's also an investment in your education and your future. All right, so it's a good investment actually. Um, sure. Water tax rate. I like it. Water and electricity. So I'm going to put W and E for water electricity rates. Let's add rates onto that as well, because sometimes it comes in one big bill. Good. Groceries. Yo, that one. Groceries. Sure. Cell phones. Oh my gosh. Okay, yes. Contracts. Let's put your contracts. Petrol. You guys don't know about this thing yet, but just wait. When you start driving, petrol. Oh my goodness. Insurance. Netflix. Netflix is an expense. I'm going to put it at the top because for some of you, Netflix is a priority, eh? Netflix, you've got to pay
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. Sure. Let's carry on to the list over here. Wi-Fi. What else? Wi-Fi, DSTV. DSTV. Jeez, I can't even afford DSTV. DSTV. Don't to drive anymore. Chocolates. Yes, chocolate is an expense. Utilities. Yes, utilities will be good. That utilities will be like water, electricity, and rates. Some countries have gas. Some countries that even offer TV services as a utility. Yes, good. Monthly ice cream, Booyah, thank you. I was waiting for that. And the ice cream. Don't forget the ice cream. Insurance. Insurance differently. Medical aid, sure. That's a good one. Very important. Okay, good. TV license, yes. And apparently they're going to scrap that. Apparently I heard we don't have to pay that soon. They're trying to get rid of it and just making it a tax somewhere else.
Is anybody paying for their TV license?
What's Pampas? What is Pampas?
It's diapers.
Ah, Pampers. Yes. Pampas. Pampers. Diapers. Yes. Depreciation. Yo. Sonia. Yes, so depreciation is actually an expense. The value of your things gets smaller. Phone bill, good. Cell phone bill, we got contracts there. Let's see, I was laughing at me. Um, let's see what else if I missed something. Insurance, harm maintenance, self. Come okay, yes, okay, that could be an expense. Pay as you earn, good for you. So pay as you earn, they'll be taken off your salary slip before the money comes in. But you can't think of it as an expense. It has to be paid out. But when we take the salary and wages and put it into our personal budget, the pay as you earn and sometimes things like medical aid can be taken care of before the money gets into your bank. So we're thinking about what's coming into our bank accounts and what's going out of our bank account. But pay as you earn, everyone has to pay that. Okay, especially if you get paid a salary. Good. Petrol, yes. Entertainment, yes. Tax also gets taken care of before money comes in. Loans, good. Insurance, electricity, yes, I've got all electricity, all good. Sure, you guys know this stuff. Trading stock deficit. Oh my gosh. Yes. UIF contribution, good. Land and buildings. So land and buildings rates, if you own a house, rates will be covered under that. Cost of goods sold. Now, you see these people are accounting. These people do accounting now. You
Yeah,
see,
no, hey.
you can
They
see.
just switched our lesson around. They were
Yes.
like,
Now you
okay,
guys are
we're
trying to
doing
switch to.
debit and credit.
Yeah, you guys are trying to do accounting. Hold on. Hold on. This is math literacy. We're going to try and keep it as simple as possible. So let's stick with these expenses. So these are all good examples of personal expenses, not business expenses, personal expenses. Okay, so when you do a personal budget, a lot of these things are going to be in your budget. And you will find that most of the time, unless you're a very good budget and you're very good with your money, all these ones in red kind of take over your budget. And they are usually bigger in the end than what's in green. Okay, the whole idea is to keep what's coming in more than what's going out. All right, facts. All right, so let's have a look. We can also talk about time scale. So how should we allocate this budget in terms of time? So do we do a weekly budget, a monthly budget, or an annual budget? Which one do you guys think is best? Weekly, monthly, or annual? Monthly, 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 monthly. Now, all you guys say monthly. Can you tell me why you saying monthly? Why do you guys say monthly? Everyone's saying monthly, but why? There must be a reason. Who would like to turn on their microphone and talk to us? Anyone want to raise their hand, talk to us?
Somebody.
Anybody? Somebody? Anybody?
Anybody.
Anybody?
Shame they're not in the mood for us today.
Yeah, everyone's so nervous. We're not that bad. We don't.
Sipho Site, we're not, we don't bite, man. We're
We
so
don't.
kind.
Yeah, we good. We good people. And you don't have to be reminded to pay at the end of the month. Yeah, true. So maybe annual, so you don't have to worry about what's going on for the end of the month. All right, not too early or too late. Good. That's a reason. Why else do we have a monthly thing? A monthly budget. Why is monthly budgeting often the one used? Yeah, I wish we could pay for the full year. That would be awesome. Get it all done. Yeah, you do
I'd
pay
spend
this.
it all in Jan.
Yeah.
I'd spend it all in Jan. I'd live my best life.
Yes. That's it, Pabalo. Well
Yes,
done.
Babalo.
So most people get paid monthly. And because most people get paid monthly, all these companies, which are part of your expenses list, will debit you monthly. So as soon as that money comes into your account, they want to grab their piece. But because they also have to run their company on a month-by-month basis as well, they have to pay their employees. So the monthly timescale is the one that most people use because we get our money monthly, and people bill people monthly. Invoices come in monthly. It's all usually on a month-by-month basis. You can do annual in fact, an annual budget is actually a very good idea, especially if you're planning for big things. So if you want to buy a TV or a car, then having an annual budget is a very, very good idea. You lose track of how much you will end up with at the end of the year if you stick to monthly. So an annual budget is actually quite a good idea. Whatever you do monthly, if you multiply it by 12, you'll have an idea of what you'll have at the end of the year. So an annual budget is actually quite a good idea. Yes. Good stuff. Good reasons to ensure that you're not spending more than you're making. Good. All right. Yes. So if money's going out, you want to keep track of it. So that happens usually every month. So a monthly budget's a good idea. All right. You guys are on the ball. Okay. So let's have a look at a live budget. Now, please don't laugh at my budget. All right. It's very simple and it's probably from 1932. But
Yeah,
just some
wow, because
numbers.
you spent 80 Rand on takeaways.
110
I
Rand on
spent
toiletries. Yeah. It's a very old budget. Rent is 600 Rand. School fees is 200 Rand. It's just some numbers, guys. Please don't laugh at my budget. Okay. Yeah. Don't laugh at my budget. All right. It's got good detail. This is why I chose it. I'm sure people are laughing.
how much is
Yeah.
the salary? 1,000 Rand.
Yeah. Good question. Good question. So we can see on the budget what the salary is. So it is comparative. That's what I can say. If we had to times everything by 10, it would be comparative. That's the whole idea here. So I've divided everything by 10 just for interest's sake. Okay, so we got in the top category here under the heading fixed expenses. Now, what on earth does this mean, fixed expenses? We've got another category here, variable expenses. Pablo, you want to talk to us?
Welcome to our radio station.
Talk to us, Pablo.
Fixed
How are you doing?
expenses that stay the same every month.
Oh, he's answering.
So you said fixed expenses are expenses. Pablo, say that again.
Expenses that stay the same every month. They never change.
They stay the same every month. Very good. So what you pay in January, you're going to pay in December. It's not going to change during the month. Very, very, very good. Okay, very good. When the amount doesn't change. Good. Well done, Plamedi. Well done, guys. Okay, good. Thanks, Babalo. Thanks for talking to us. So yes, fixed expenses are expenses that will not change. All right, and variable expenses are expenses that will change month to month based on use and things you buy. All right, very good. So we got fixed expenses here, like rent. We said school fees as well. Transport. I put down petrol. Someone mentioned petrol, but taxi transport, bus transport. All right, transport costs. Yes. Money for mother. All right, that's a different one. Okay, so if you're helping someone out in your family, that becomes an expense. If you pay it regularly, you need to put it in your budget. Okay, a lot of people do that. All right. Good. Well done, Dipua. Those are definitely fixed expenses. Okay, we can also add, yes, we can add mortgages into here. In fact, if we go back to our list, I'm going to highlight all the fixed ones in blue, or I'll put a little blue dot. So Netflix should be the same. Loan repayments will stay the same. School fees should stay the same. Rent should stay the same in a 1 year period. Water, electricity, nope, that'll change. Groceries will change. Contracts should stay the same. Petrol will change. Wi-Fi should stay the same. DSTV, insurance, medical aid, TV license, Pampers definitely going to change. Okay, so the blue ones, as a baby grows, you're going to need more. So the blue ones are all fixed, and all the rest are variable expenses. Okay. Rent might change. You're right, Sonia. Rent does change every single year. So you might hit a month where all of a sudden the rent goes up. But in a month-to-month basis, in a year, the rent should stay the same, and then at the end of the year it'll change. So when you start a new year, it'll change to go up in the new year. But we call it fixed because month to month, it doesn't change depend on usage, on a specific usage, on what you need. It should stay the same every month. So we do include it in fixed. Janu, not all expenses are fixed. Some are fixed expenses and some are variable. So in this list here, the ones that are fixed mean they don't change. So your Netflix monthly premium should stay the same until they usually increase it once a year, but that should stay the same for month to month, like January, February, March. It should be the same amount. Loan repayments are fixed, except for loan repayments will go up according to the interest rate. But usually, if interest rates got nothing to do with it, they will stay fixed. School fees are fixed. Rents is fixed. Contracts are fixed. Wi-Fi, DSTV, insurance, medical aid, license, TV license, all fixed. Okay, so they don't change month to month. But if we look at variable, let's go down to our budget over here. And if we look at variable, Okay, it's taking a bit long. Let me just quickly shut this down and open it up again. And let's go here. Finance. All right. I think my OneNote program doesn't want to look at any more expenses. It's freaking out.
It
Okay.
can't take it anymore.
Can't take any more, no more expenses. So if we look at variable expenses down here, we have debt, blue stores, furniture shop, microlender. In fact, there's an argument that these debt repayments might be regular. In other words, the same everyone. So these debt repayments, some people might say, shouldn't that be fixed? Yeah, it could be fixed, but you don't know what kind of debt agreement or debt payment plan is put in place here. So this person has decided to put them into variable, and also it might be for only a couple of months. It might not be for the whole year, which is why it might be here in variable. But usually a regular debt payment, like a loan, will be a fixed expense. Groceries, definitely fixed. Electricity, we'll talk about that now. Telephone, definitely variable. Toiletries, cosmetics, variable. Takeaways, variable. So these things will change depending on what you are doing every single month. All right, so let's do some calculations with this budget. So I want you guys to help me out here. I need to work out what are my total fixed expenses, please. It shouldn't take you long. I need the total fixed expenses. And when they use the word total, you know what to do. All right, you need to add them up. So what is the total fixed expenses, please? Yo, these guys are fast. Table, the class will end at 7 o'clock. 1,030. All right, 1,030 seems to be coming in. Check your answers for 1,030. All right, let's have a look. All right, there we go. 1,030 is the total fixed expenses. Very good, everyone. Okay, now we're going to have a look at, well, we've got the total variable expenses. Here's some work for you, a lot of calculations. I want to know how much electricity did this person pay if their total for all the variable expenses is 1,440. So how much did they have to pay for electricity if their total is 1,440? Oh, got 210, I got 170. Go, you've
Very
added all the
different
expenses.
answers.
Yeah. Go, so you've added all the expenses that will come in at the end under total expenses. We're just splitting them up into fixed and variable. So for variable, I want to know how much electricity did this person pay if their total came to 1,440. It's a lot of calculator work. All right, looks like we're getting 210 and 170. 370, so we're getting different answers. Yeah, good. $170. All right, we'll give it a minute and then we'll have a look at this one. Just wait for people to get their answers so we can check. There's a couple of different answers. I hope these answers are all yours and it's not just copy paste from the one above. Let's see. Okay, got to get this calculator out. It's going to do some work now. Brush the dust off this calculator. All right. Let's see. Here we go. So we've got a total of 1,440. And what we need to do is subtract all the other expenses, all the other expenses that we have. And I'm going to put them in a bracket. So if we take 1,440 and we subtract all the other expenses, all of these here and all of these here, take them away from 1,440, what will be left is our electricity. So I'm going to put those inside the calculator. So I'm going to start adding them up. So 60 plus 220 plus 200 plus 400 plus, whoopsie. Let's go back. Let's go back. 220. We got 60, 220, 200, 400. I need another 200, and I need another 110, and I need another 80. Okay, looks like I've got it all. Let me quickly check my calculator. If you have a lot of numbers that you're working with on the calculator, it's always good to check. So I've got 60, got 220, I got 200, I've got 400, I've got 200, I've got 110, and I've got 80. I've got them all. All right, this should be it. So press equals. Yes, well done. So our answer here is 170. Okay. All right, there's my 170 in. Okay, so that means then that if they add up all the total variable expenses, that you'll get an answer of 1440. Now, these two expenses together need to come together as a total. So what will our total be? It'll be easy enough to work out. We're going to add those two together. And what are we getting? 2470. All right, easy enough to do. Okay, so 1030 plus 1440, and we get 2440. 2470, my bad. Okay, let's check. Let's see if it's correct. 2470. Okay, there we go. So we have our total expenses of 2470. Now, I don't know if you can see what I can see, but this is not good because I can see the total income right there below. Okay, now we need to write a little formula here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say surplus or deficit. Okay, now surplus means you've got positive money. You got plus 200 Rand. Deficit means you're in the negative. You got minus 200 Rand. Okay, so deficit means you owe money. Surplus means you've got some money in your bank account. All right. So how do we know if when we do this calculation, if we're going to have a surplus or a deficit? Okay, so I'm going to say, let's just write a formula. So I'm going to say the result here, or the total, let's say total instead, is your income minus your expenses. All right. And we can tell if we're going to have a surplus or a deficit by the answer that we get here. So if you always put your income first, in this case, it's 2,000. What are we going to get as our answer if we subtract the total expenses? You don't need a calculator for this. Gersha, well done. That's the one I was looking for. Well done, Chiamo. I'm getting 470 and I'm getting minus 470. All right. So if you put your income first, you will be able to tell if you're going to have a surplus or a deficit. Always the income first. All right. So you get money coming into your account and then the expenses start taking away. And if they take away too much, if they take away all of your income, then you're going to run into a deficit. Okay. So if income always gets written first in this formula. So when we do this calculation and we say 2,000 minus, 2,000 minus 2470, we get a minus 470 on the calculator. All right. Now, don't be afraid with this minus. Using this formula where income is first, we get a negative answer. And sometimes in the Mathlet question, or the Mathlet, yes, Sitso. So the minus sign is telling us a story. So sometimes in the Mathlet exam, they will say, work out the total income minus expenses or the total for this budget. And you're going to get an answer of minus 470. Then they're going to say, did this person have a surplus or more than zero in their bank account or bank balance, or did they have a deficit in their bank? Okay. So the minus will tell us that this person has a deficit. Their expenses are bigger than their income. Okay. So if you take this formula here with surplus and deficit, for surplus, your income, I'm going to use I, is greater than your expenses, bigger than your expenses. And for deficit, your expenses are greater than your income. Okay. So it tells you a story when you see the answer. If it's positive, it's a good thing. And if it's negative, it tells you that your expenses are bigger than your income. Okay, so they often ask that question in the exam to say, the value that you receive, how does this tell you that this person is in deficit? Well, it's because of the minus and the answer there. Okay, so let's have a look at the difference that I've got here. We're going to write it in actually. So we're going to say minus 470. Okay, so this person is in trouble. Their income is less than their expenses because of the minus answer. Now, sometimes the mathlet exam, and we need to ask this here with you guys tonight, what can this person do to come out of a deficit and into a surplus? Look at his budget, and this is something that you need to practice because you should do this. What should this person do? Does anyone want to turn on their microphone and talk to me? Give us a life lesson on what this person should do about their budget.
Wow, Bonke. Stop eating out.
Stop eating now.
I'll die.
Yo, that's hard, eh? Cut takeaways off. Yeah, see, these people are saying this so easily here because they know that sometimes their parents cook for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but if you're cooking yourself, there we go.
But guys, it's only 80 rand.
Brindani says, maybe start cooking for yourself. Takeaway. See, everyone's saying the same thing. Takeaways. Start with the takeaways. Eat cheap things. You see that the food, everyone's going on food. Eat homemade food. Stop eating outside. Find another. Vivan. Find another job that pays more. So Vivan's saying, keep the takeaways, but get out there and reduce telephone. All right, that's an
I like
option.
Alzondi's answer because the telephone bill is quite crazy.
Yeah, the telephone bill compared to the others is quite crazy. All right, here's a question. These are all very good answers. You can cut down on any of these. You start with the one you don't need with the most, and you work your way from there. So takeaways, you guys are saying it because you could do without the takeaways, not toiletries, not telephone, maybe the telephone, electricity, definitely. Well,
We don't have any anyway.
We don't have any anyway. We're so used to not having electricity, so let's not worry about that. Spend less time at the mall. I like that one, Chiamo. That place scares me. The mall scares me. Every time you go in there, you spend money. It's not good. Here's a question for you. What percentage, listen to my question, what percentage of the fixed expenses does this person pay on transport? What percentage of fixed expenses does this person pay on transport? Who can tell me how we're going to do that? Anyone want to? Where's Pabalo? Anybody? You guys must be tired of hearing somebody.
Anybody.
I know Pabalo's going to raise his hand because he feels sorry for us. Anybody else?
Sonia, the question was, what is the percentage that they spend on transport?
What is the percentage of fixed expenses? I've highlighted them there that the person spends on transport.
Tiamo is so ready for us. Even gave
Tiamo's
us
on
a
the ball.
calculation.
Tiamo is on the ball, on the money. Ha! Teacher Tiamo. And Alzondi with 2 decimal places and the percentage sign. Good. Now, these people who are answering so quickly, I don't know if you've been watching the quiz results, but these guys are usually like in the top 5 of the quiz results. So these guys work, they practice and they work hard and they're getting good results. It's fantastic. Grisha, well done, 12.62. All right, so we've got an answer of 12.62. Let's check it out. So we need to work out a percentage. Now, for a percentage, you need a fraction. You need something at the top of the fraction, something at the bottom of the fraction. You need to multiply by 100. All right, that's a very basic math. literacy skill that you need to know. So in the top of our fraction, because we said what percentage of total fixed expenses, the total fixed expenses will be at the bottom. So this will be 1030 at the bottom. Rands. I don't care to shout at me. And then we got rands and 130 rand at the top there. So we got the fraction, and then we're going to multiply by 100. Okay, so let's see it in action. So we got 130. And at the bottom, we've got 1030. And then we multiply this by 100. Okay. Let's see. So we got a long decimal number here. We're looking at 12, and we're looking at the second decimal place, which is a 2. And the 1 next to the 2 will not affect it. So 12.62%. All right, very good. Now, something that I want to bring your attention to, and I've seen this a couple of times, when people's, I've seen in matric papers even, that they sometimes give you a formula to work out a percentage. They'll put something in here like, they could say inflation increase. So, difference in values of a previous value. Okay, don't worry about what I'm putting in here. But there's a formula that they give you sometimes in matric papers. And in the formula they write out in the paper, they put a percentage sign here next to the 100. I've seen them do that many times, even in national papers, government papers. Let's see what happens if I do exactly what is written in my formula. So let's say I'm doing the same thing here, but I'm working out a percentage. And I go back to my formula and I type in 100%. If I type in exactly what the formula is like in the exam, and I put that percentage out there, what's going to happen? Oh, look at that. So instead of 12.62, I've got now 0.12. Okay. So please be careful in the exam when they say determine a percentage difference between two values, and they give you a formula. Now you know what the percentage formula looks like, and they go and put a percentage there. It shouldn't be there. This is how you calculate a percentage. All right. So don't go and put a percentage into your percentage formula. It's going to change your answer. So let's just go back to our situation. So this is how we work out a percentage. You got your fraction and you got times by 100. Don't go and put a percentage sign into your formula. That will give you an incorrect answer. Okay, here's another question. Let's see if I can't make it a hard one. Who can tell me what is transport as a percentage of total expenses? Not that difficult, very similar, but I'm very interested to hear. So transport out of fixed, so under fixed, transport is 12.62%. But out of total, what is the percentage? So what is the transport cost as a percentage out of the total expenses? Anybody? What is the transport cost, the same transport cost as a percentage of the total expenses? Sure, Kia's gone quiet now, eh?
I'm still here. I wanted to type your question in the chat and then I was like very slow at it. So I
Okay.
gave up.
I thought, chief, I thought everyone's disappeared, like load shedding everywhere or something.
No.
All right, we got Gersha. Oof. Depur. Gulo. We got numbers coming in. Okay, good. Good. All right, we've got an answer coming in. So it looks like the majority of the people are getting 5.26. Let's have a look. So all we're going to do is take our formula. We're going to leave the transport cost of 130 on the top, but we're going to go down to the bottom and we're going to delete the 1030 and change it for the total 2470 and just press equals again. Okay. So if you work out actually out of the total expenses for this person, transport 5,2631, the second decimal place is not affected by the 3, so it'll be 5,26. Well done. So it's 12.62 of his fixed expense, which might seem like a lot the first time you see it, but out of his total expenses, it's only 5.26%, which is not bad. All right, that's not too bad at all. Okay, here's a question. The difference between the income and the expenses, what is that difference? Listen carefully. The difference between income and expenses. What is that difference as a percentage of income? Okay. So the difference between income and expenses, the difference between them, what is that as a percentage of the person's income? The difference between income and expenses, what is that as a percentage of the person's income? The difference between income and expenses, total expenses, what is that difference as a percentage of the income? Ah, Plumady with 23.5. Fast on the money. What is that difference between the income and expenses as a percentage of the income? Oh, Sonia's got a negative there. Very interesting.
I was waiting for a negative answer.
Yeah. Ah, there were Gersha with 23.5%. Okay. All right. Looks like we're getting some answers. User has got 23.5%. All right. We've got some answers coming in. Let's have a look at this one. So the first part is we've got to find the difference between the income and the expenses. Now, Sonia has copied the formula that I originally put there to find out if the person has a surplus or a deficit. So she's put her income first, all right? Which is not, it's not wrong, Sonia, okay? You're going to get a negative answer in this case. You can change the values around to force a positive answer out if you want to. But if you keep it, oh, we got 81.67. If you keep it income first and then expenses, you will get a negative. All right. But we just want to know how far they're apart. Okay. Not if there's a surplus or if there's a deficit. We just want to know how far these two things apart. How much is there between the two? So, you know, you can put the big one in front of the small one if you want to. So if you put 2470 minus 2000, you'll get a positive answer. So that's the difference. So I said, what is this difference as a percentage of income? So we've got to put this of here. The thing that's next to of is going to be in the denominator. So of income in the bottom here. All right. And then to get a percentage, we multiply this by 100. All right. So let's put that onto the calculator. So we're going to put 2470 minus 2000. And let me first get my fraction out there. So we're going to build a fraction. So there, so 2470 minus 2000. And then underneath, we're going to have 2000 and then come out and put a multiplication 100. Okay. So let's see what we get here. 23.5%. All right. Well done. On the money, guys. So 23.5%. Okay, so what we could say is that this person's income, he was over his income in terms of losing money out of his budgets. His expenses were more than his income by 23.5% of his income, which also almost a quarter of his income, which is a lot. Okay, so this person's expenses exceeded his income by 23.5%. Well done. Good job. Good job, guys. All right, so budgeting, important skill to understand and all the terminology and everything, but it's actually very, very useful in planning ahead in your finances. I hope you guys, besides learning this for your tests that are coming up, I hope you learn a good skill here. It's a very important skill to learn personally.